We back with another one. Shit, we got that motherfucker. What's this called? Idaho student. Oh, why they always do this shit? This guy, the suspect in court. Wait, it's a live video of this nigga in the hearing. Let's get straight to it, bro.
For
They make this
weeks,
shit
we
so
had little
complicated.
information about that case. No leads, no suspects, and really no information except that investigators were searching for a white Hyundai Elantra. We can now confirm that a white Elantra was seized during the investigation at Kohberger's parents' house. Speaking of Kohberger's parents, we're also learning that Kohberger's father recently flew from Pennsylvania over to Washington to drive with his son cross country back here to the East Coast. During that more than 2,000-mile road trip, Kohberger's father said he didn't notice anything suspicious or off about his son. Kohberger's family, though, has since released a statement saying they send their remorse to the family members of the victims and that they're hoping this can play out in the legal system. As for Kohberger's public defender, he says his client hopes to soon be exonerated and that he is not fighting extradition. He also reminds the public that Kohberger is innocent until proven guilty and that this should not be tried in the court of public opinion. So what can we expect from this extradition hearing this afternoon? Kohberger will appear in front of a judge at about 3:30, and the hearing isn't expected to be very long. He isn't fighting the extradition, meaning he could be back in Idaho as early as this evening.
Okay.
After that, Kohberger will appear in front of a Latah County judge, and it's then that a now sealed affidavit will likely be unsealed. Then we will likely learn more information about the investigation and what led up to Kohberger's arrest. For now, though, we will continue to follow this ever-developing case, bringing you the latest details as they unfold. Reporting in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Sierra Gillespie, Law and Crime Network.
All right, great reporting there by Sierra. I'm joined right now this hour by Law and Crime's and
Hey, stop trying to hit on my bitch.
Jeanette Levy, who is outside the Latah County Courthouse. I'm also joined by retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, who's been following this case from the beginning, and criminologist Dr. Debbie Goodman. It's great to have you all here. I'd like to get right into the viewer questions from social media, YouTube, because there really people have an interest in this case. And Jeanette, I'm going to start with you. This is from Sway from YouTube. I'm actually going to read you Sway's question and then hit you with a question of my own. So the first question from Sway is, when is the trial likely to take place? I'll tell you, probably not for quite some time. The question I will pose to you is, will there be cameras allowed in Idaho for these proceedings as they progress?
Well, Jesse, I think that it would be a very, very long time. I mean, we haven't even seen Bryan Kohberger served with the complaint in this case. That won't happen until he arrives back in Idaho. So we are a long, long way away from a trial if this case.
I mean, of course, we're a long way from the trial. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Trials be last for a long time. And for a guy like this, that shit, trial might not last, come for a couple of years. You feel me? We don't want to hear y'all talk. Let's get straight into the business. If there is any business, damn, this bitch. All these niggas doing is talking. Are you serial? Bro, are you serial? Are you serial right now? Hold on. That's crazy. Let's just skip some.
It was interesting to hear him talk about that. Jennifer, I want to pose a question to you about communication in this case. One of the things that I found so interesting before the arrest of Kohberger was the statements from law enforcement, a day, 2 days before this happened, saying, look, we have no publicly identifiable suspect. We're still asking for information from the public. And I'll never forget what Chief Fry said in an interview. He said, look, we don't want to release the 911 phone call. We don't want to provide more information because we do not want to taint a future prosecution. We want to get the green light from the prosecutor's office. And that kind of rang in my head. That's a standard answer, but also he could have said, we don't want to say anything. We don't want to release anything to taint the investigation. It makes me wonder how early on they knew about Kohberger.
No, I agree. I think it was earlier in that week. There was a point that there was a complete change in demeanor, a confidence that exuded.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I got a bad attention span. I can't sit here for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, and 5 hours, and 60 generations, and a birth year. And I want to go to sleep.
Was filed yesterday here in Latah County. charging
Santa Claus got arrested. Who is this?
the defendant, Mr. Kohberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder.
They got Santa Claus. No, bro, that nigga got Santa Claus for first-degree murder. Yo, why is Santa Claus taking a stand for himself though? This nigga got his own. That nigga got damn. Of course he ain't in chains. It's Santa Claus.
In addition to felony burglary, which involves entering the residence with the intent to commit the crime of murder. Mr. Kohberger, and let me preface, there is a pending case now.
That was your charge too, Santa Claus.
Does his lawyer get to read it before it's unsealed for the public?
Bryan will absolutely, Mr. Kohberger will absolutely get to see what is in that affidavit. He has a right to see that. It would be unjust for that to be kept from him. We have the right.
Relatively calm, and he answered all of the judge's questions very eloquently, as though he understood what he was saying. And again, he said that he's waiving this extradition, so he voluntarily wants to go back to Idaho.
Sierra, did he make any kind of motion towards his family that was in the courtroom?
Yeah, Jesse,
I can see it in his face, which is weird. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just tripping, and I just think I see what I see because you know what I'm saying? Because I know that maybe it'd be different if I didn't know what he did. I'm just looking at him. I don't know, bro. I see disgust. Ugh. A lot of blood. That's a lot of blood.
I'm glad that you pointed this out. So on the way in, he kind of nodded at his family, just kind of a somber thing. I realize you're here. But on the way out is really when he showed his cards. He mouthed the words, "I love you," to his family, and then he was escorted out of the courtroom. And actually, his family had quite a reaction when they were there. They were kind of hugging each other, touching each other. Actually, one family member was crying so much that a sheriff's deputy brought over a box of Kleenexes so that she could kind of make sure to contain herself a little bit more. And she actually
sense of humanity, I respect.
Covered her face with her hands when the first-degree murder charges were brought up. So very emotional from Kohberger's family.
And when we deal with these kinds of cases, it's families from both sides that are ultimately affected, not just the victim's family members, but clearly the defendant's family members as well. Sierra, great reporting on the ground for us. We really do appreciate it. You're our eyes and ears there. We didn't have cameras in that courtroom, so thank you so much, Sierra.
No, yeah, for sure. She was the one in that courtroom. I can already see her in that bitch. I can already see her in that bitch. She over there smiling like that was me, wasn't it? I'm glad.
Great reporting.
Yeah, thanks as always.
All right, everybody.
Cut him off. They just cut her off. Don't nobody want to listen to you talk, Charlie. This nigga look like he failed to be in movies. He's like, fuck it, let's just be a news reporter. Fuck it, we in the camera anyway. No, nigga. Hold on. Let's shit, hold on. Actually, fuck it. We're done here. If you want to leave, goodbye. But if you fuck with me, shit, we gonna thug it out. We just gonna. What we gonna do? What y'all trying to do? You feel me? Let's go to my shit. This bitch probably dead anyway. Motherfucking camera. Is that bitch rolling? Shit, if it ain't rolling, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We here with it. Hold on. I've been meaning to delete these reactions. I did that to let my peoples know over here that I'm on this reaction shit. Get them over here where y'all at. Type shit. Hold on. Diddly doo bop boo bop doodly. What y'all wanna go to? Y'all wanna watch this? We ain't gonna watch the whole thing. I swear to God.
I mean, how we?
I ain't got time for that. Yes, sir.
Take a book.
I ain't taking no weed.
Just whip up your body and they won't come out.
Shit, if I shoot you in your chest, it might come out your mouth. Damn.
Pockets wet as fuck. Never been inside a drug. So much booze inside my pocket, they thought I brought a river. So much knowledge from my age, they thought I was the giver. I shine bright like a star, brighter than the diver.
Look at that. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.